Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is the story about Naruto. What if Naruto had ultimate kekkei genkai, part 1. Hope you'll enjoy this video. So before we start, please do support for more awesome content and also hit the subscribe button and share this video with your friends. And also support the creator of this fanfic. I have created many playlists, check it out in the channel. So let's start the video. Two boys stood in the center of a dome of mirrors made of ice. The first had black hair and wore a blue shirt and khaki shorts. He had red eyes as a result of his newly awakened blood limit, the Sharingan. He had two tamo in his right eye and one in his left. As a result, he was now able to catch glimpses of his opponent as he passed above them above their heads. He skillfully dodged volley after volley of needles, though with each attack 2 or 3 would strike him in various places all over his body. He was the pride of Konoha, the last prodigy of the once almighty Uchiha clan. His name, Uchiha Sasuke. The second boy had bright blonde hair, vivid sapphire eyes, and wore an orange jumpsuit. He wasn't faring nearly as well as his teammate. He also had 3 whisker-like birthmarks on each cheek. While he did his best to dodge them, he was not agile enough, nor could he see the minute needles unlike his partner. He was lucky if 2 or 3 from each attack missed him. He was the bane of Konoha, as well as its number 1, hyperactive, unpredictable, knuckle-headed ninja. He was the legacy of the Yondaime Hokage, the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Kitsune. His name, Uzumaki Naruto. Their opponent was incredibly fast. Sasuke was barely faster than under normal circumstances. Within the dome of ice mirrors he created, Zabuza's perfect tool was too much for them, even combined. Seeing a moment of weakness, he concentrated his attack on Naruto. What happened next surprised both boys even more than the sudden shift in their foe's attack. Naruto could only helplessly watch as the needles came closer and closer to him. Strange, as everything suddenly started to become clearer. If events hadn't progressed as they did, he might have just dismissed it as his own acceptance of his fate. However, fate decided to intervene, not once, but twice. Before he knew it, he was on the ground, knocked off his feet by his teammate, Sasuke, who now looked like a human pincushion. "Why?" asked a very shocked Naruto. Sasuke had an equally shocked look on his face. "I don't know. My body just moved on its own." It was all he could manage to get out before collapsing on the ground. "Sasuke?" Naruto gasped. The raven-haired teen looked up at his blonde teammate. His eyes had gone back to their original onyx color. "My brother told me I wouldn't die until I killed him," Sasuke whispered to him. "You don't die." Sasuke's eyes closed for a final time, his entire body had gone slack. Naruto closed his eyes, trying to hold back the pain. A myriad of emotions ran through his mind. Sadness at the loss of a friend, disappointment in his own weakness, frustration at not being able to defeat their opponent. So many emotions at one time, all ready to burst at any moment. He protected a precious person while knowing it was a trap, and he still decided to jump in. He was a shinobi that deserved respect. Said the masked boy. "Is this the first time a friend of yours has died? This is the way of the shinobi." "Shut up," was all Naruto whispered. Power, raw untamed power coursed through his veins. First it manifested in a fiery red spiral. The red chakra was fierce, angry, filled with more malice and hatred than even Zabuza had ever felt, and that Kakashi had only felt once before. The seal thought to Kakashi, "Has it been broken?" That power, "No, it's not." Kakashi was the thought that ran through Zabuza's head. Meanwhile, the masked boy watched in horror and bewilderment. Naruto looked directly at him. His vivid blue eyes were now red with untamed fury, and the pupils were slitted. "I'll rip you apart." "That chakra, it's impossible. Chakra can't change like this," the masked boy thought. He was frozen in terror at the radical change Naruto was going through. And such an evil chakra. The red chakra formed a fox above Naruto. The needles that had penetrated various points in his body suddenly shot out of his body, which was shaking in unbridled rage. Suddenly, the wounds all over his body began to heal before the masked boy's eyes. His wounds, they're healing. This boy, what is he? It was what happened next that solidified Naruto's reputation as Konoha's number 1, unpredictable, knuckled-headed ninja. Naruto's Hittite fell off of his head as the sinister red fiery chakra became black and cold, yet the black flames seemed to sting with more intensity than the red ones. Even though the chakra had changed again, the whisker marks that had become thicker and more defined had not receded, and his eyes were still blood red and slitted. Kakashi and Zabuza stood rooted in each of their respective areas. Sakura, and even Tazuna, cringed at the changes in the chakra that saturated the air around them. It was incredibly strong. The fact that Tazuna could feel it was a testament to that fact. Sakura was frightened. She had no clue as to what was going on. She couldn't see anyone through the mist, she could barely see Tazuna, and he was right next to her. The foreign chakra was far stronger than anything she'd ever felt, it far surpassed anything she had ever felt from either Kakashi-sensei or even Sasuke-kun combined. She was also unsettled by the fluctuations of the feelings the chakra gave off. It could only be felt a little at first. Desperation, fear, hopelessness, and then hate, anger, malice. The feelings came with such intensity that she could almost taste the killing intent in the air. As frightened as she was of it, she was glad that whatever the source, it was not directed at her. However, now the feelings have changed. The hate and anger were still there, but it was more controlled, more lethal, and deadly. The killing intent was more focused and no longer felt as if it was going to consume everything in the area, however it was still as strong, if not stronger, than it had been a few moments ago. Kakashi's reaction was much different than Sakura's. When he felt the familiar killing intent, he immediately had flashbacks of the Kyuubi no Kitsune's attack on Konoha 12 years ago. He had felt the immediate need to deal with Zabuza quickly so that he could deal with whatever it was that had happened to Naruto. Now though, he could only feel bewildered at the familiar feeling the chakra had given off. It can't be, Kakashi said, looking over in the direction that he felt Naruto's chakra coming from. Impossible. One of your students is doing something they shouldn't be able to, Kakashi, said Zabuza with some amusement in his voice. Naruto just awakened to thought to have been wiped out 12 years ago, said Kakashi, not even bothering to hide his astonishment. Oh, and you think it would be enough for him to defeat Haku? Asked Zabuza in a half-amused, half-disbelieving tone. Due to his more unique circumstances, I'd be willing to bet that he'd be able to defeat both of us if he could effectively use its power, said Kakashi. Oh, and what could actually give him the power to do that, asked Zabuza. Although he was curious to know what could cause Kakashi's reaction, he couldn't help but think the copycat nin was overstating his student's abilities. Then again, Haku took a vested interest in Uzumaki, while the Uchiha hardly caught his attention at all. Jagan, was Kakashi's simple reply. Two simple words even made Zabuza start having second thoughts about the annoying and overly loud blonde ninja. How can you be so sure? He asked his opponent. The Jagan was famous, feared, and above all, respected, even by those belonging to the Seven Swordsmen of the Mist. I've only felt chakra like that in the presence of one other person, and it was as unforgettable then as it is now, explained Kakashi, but my sensei never had any other family. He was the only one with the Jagan in the village, meaning the only way Naruto could have it was. Kakashi's eyes widened at the revelation. Haku watched as the boy in front of him stood up. The menacing aura retreated inside of him, but the killing intent was still thick in the air. It was then when Haku saw it. Naruto's spiky blonde hair began to stand straight up in the front, no longer covering his forehead. Then what appeared to be a slit across it appeared and began to slightly glow. The teal glow became more intense as it got wider. When the slit fully opened, the glow subsided, revealing a third eye much like Naruto's normal too. It was sapphire blue in color, although it was slightly slitted. You will pay, he said to the masked nin, still shaking with fury. I'll kill you. Haku took the moment to step back into his mirrors. This sudden burst of power, the lust for battle and blood, he is no longer the same boy I fought before, Haku thought to himself. Suddenly, a huge shockwave of power was released by Naruto. He's coming, Haku thought, as Naruto prepared to charge. He sent a small barrage at the charging boy, only to have them harmlessly batted away by the boy's immense power. He barely was able to jump away from the mirror as Naruto shattered in with a simple punch. Haku's visage suddenly appeared in all of the mirrors at once. He was astonished at the boy's newfound speed and even more amazed that his last attack was merely blasted away without a mere thought. As one, all of the mirrors attacked. They embedded themselves deeply into Naruto. His third eye began to glow brightly again, and the red chakra from before seemed to surround him. Releasing his newfound power, Naruto forced the needles from his body, his wounds instantly healing. The sheer power Naruto was putting out was enough to crack the mirror Haku was in. He immediately charged. A second mirror shattered as Naruto's first made contact. Haku had jumped from the mirror to one above only to charge at his three-eyed opponent. Naruto seemed to anticipate this and jumped away. He then charged at Haku. The masked boy could barely keep up with the barrage of fists coming at him. Finally, Haku managed to score a hit with a spinning kick to Naruto's stomach, sending him back a few feet. Haku jumped into a mirror but had to vacate immediately as Naruto's foot came crashing through. As Haku entered another mirror, he saw Naruto going through a short, unfamiliar combination of hand seals. Gaukatan, Inachi Enku no Kabushi, Hellfire Release, Fist of the Mortal Flame. When the sequence was completed, Naruto brought his fist back as it exploded in orange and black flames. Thrusting his fist forward, he launched the strange fireball at Haku. It was only the basic survival instinct that told Haku to move out of the way, as the mirror he had just been in was completely melted upon contact. The fact the fireball was not stopped by his mirror did not go unnoticed by the ice manipulator. However, Naruto suddenly appeared in front of him, the boy's third eye keeping up a blinding glow. Haku drew a few and threw them at the orange-clad ninja in hopes of removing the boy from his path. Unfortunately for Haku, his opponent seemed to phase out for a moment, seemingly flying through him. He gasped in surprise, fast was his only thought when Naruto grabbed his wrist. Before Haku could retaliate, another shockwave of power was released by Naruto. Zabuza-san, I'm sorry, but I cannot stand up to his powers, he thought, as Naruto started running through one-handed seals like Haku had before. Then, his entire arm seemed to burst out in orange and black flames. Gaukatan, Inachi Enku no Kabushi, Naruto yelled as he smashed his flaming fist into Haku, who was sent careening through a mirror. As he hit the ground, he bounced 5 times before landing in a disgruntled heap. That power, surely Naruto can't outsoccer it, as she heard Naruto's yell. Sasuke-kun, please be alright. She became even more worried when the strange chakra suddenly vanished. Haku tried to stand, but found he couldn't. He no longer had the energy to do so. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw Naruto approaching, the eye in the middle of his forehead glowing with great intensity. I cannot compete with him. Their eyes met, and Naruto froze, shock evident on his face, his third eye even quit glowing. His blood-red demonic eyes became sapphire-colored once again. It was then Haku realized the boy's shock. His mask had been completely shattered and possibly incinerated in that last attack. You're that guy from before. Images of their meeting in the forest flashed through Naruto's mind. Why did you stop? I killed an important friend of yours, why can't you kill me? Haku asked calmly. Naruto took a glance back at the now shattered mirrors where Sasuke still lay. He closed his eyes, the Jagan still focused on Haku. Damn it! He yelled as he kicked Haku in the stomach. The boy only gave a small groan in protest as he rolled a short distance away from Naruto. Haku spit up some blood as he tried to stand. This time he was successful, but he could barely do so. Where did all of that power of yours go? You can't defeat me like that. Was he not an important person to you? Naruto's emotions were all over the place. He wasn't sure what to think or feel. His mind kept going back to all of the things Haku had said to him before Sasuke had been killed. He was brought back into the present when Haku spoke up once more. There are those who have the wrong idea. They fail to defeat an enemy that needs to be defeated, they show mercy instead and decide not to take his life. If you ask me, doing something like that is not showing mercy. Do you know the pain of living without a dream? Knowing you're not needed by anyone? What are you trying to say? Naruto asked Haku, knowing deep in his own heart, he already knew and understood what the boy was talking about. He felt, though, that he should ask to acknowledge what the boy was going to tell him. Zabuza-san does not need a weak ninja. You stole my reason to exist. Haku explained. Naruto had a pained expression on his face. Why? Why do you fight for that guy? He gets money from bad guys and does evil things. Is that no brow freak the only important person you have? His fists were now clenched and his eyes, with the exception of the Jagan, were shut tightly. I had people who were important to me a long time ago, Haku clarified, my parents. He sighed at the painful memories. I was born in the country of water, where the snow piled up deep. All we did was farm, and we were poor, but my mother and my father were happy with it. I was happy. They were really kind parents. But when I first took notice of my surroundings, something happened. Haku looked on sadly. He needed the boy, this Uzumaki Naruto, to understand. Something? What happened? Asked Naruto, intrigued by the boy's tale. Haku raised his hand. It still had the blood he coughed up on it. This blood was all he said. Blood. Naruto was very confused by the change in subject. So what happened? My father killed my mother and then had tried to kill me. What? Haku then explained the water country's eradication of those who possessed a, or bloodline limit, and the significance of having one. After the wars, those families hid their abilities and lived on because only death awaited them if their secret was revealed. That boy, he said, pointing to Sasuke, as well as yourself, probably have had tough times as well. Those who possess a special ability are feared by everyone. My mother possessed such a bloodline limit. She had kept it a secret and married my father. She must have believed that an ordinary life would continue for a while if not forever. Haku remembered when his powers first manifested. Father found out our secret. Haku's eyes became distant, as if he was reliving the painful memories. Naruto couldn't help but wonder if his own parents were still around, if they would have tried to kill him for having Kyuubi inside of him, like Haku's father tried to kill him for having a special ability. When I came to, I realized I had killed my own father, Haku said in an even voice. At the time I thought of myself as no, I had to think of myself as being. Haku paused for a moment. I realized that was the most painful thing one could feel. The most painful thing one could feel? Asked Naruto, thinking he already knew the answer. He had to know the boy's answer, if only for confirmation. The lost look in Haku's eyes merely confirmed the conviction and truth behind his words. It pained Naruto to see such a look mirrored in the eyes of another. The feeling you are not needed by anyone in this world. It was all it took to send a jolt straight into the core of Naruto's spirit. He's the same as me. You said to me, I want to become the #1 ninja in my village and make everyone recognize me. When someone accepts you from the bottom of their heart, that person should become the most important person to you. Zabuza-san knew I was from a family and raised me. He wanted this ability that everyone hated. Tears formed at the corners of his eyes as he remembered when he met Zabuza, the man who had saved him. The man who had given him a purpose. I was happy. For a minute a happy expression came to Haku's face before becoming downcast again. I'm sorry Zabuza-san, I couldn't become the tool you wanted me to become, he whispered, and then he walked towards Naruto. Naruto-kun, please kill me. Meanwhile, Kakashi and Zabuza were still at their standoff. Each passing moment since the energy receded, Kakashi had become increasingly worried. He did not know whether or not Naruto had succeeded or not in taking down Haku. The sounds of battle had faded a while ago, and he did not know whether or not Sasuke and Naruto were alright. Seems like your boy has run out of steam, Kakashi, Zabuza taunted. Zabuza, let's finish this. One move to decide it all, Kakashi said with confidence, though in truth he was scared that he had let down yet another teammate. He then pulled out a scroll and with some quick movements, unrolled it and twirled it around. Using a sharp point on his vest, he pricked his finger and smeared blood over the seals on the scroll before rolling it back up. He still held it in his hands, as did 3 hand seals. Ninpukuchius Doten, Suga no Jutsu. Ninja art, summoning move, earth release. Dogging Fang's technique, he then set the scroll on the ground, his hands still clasped to it. Zabuza felt the chakra surging from Kakashi. When nothing happened he figured that Kakashi's technique had failed. Whatever you do, it's pointless. You can't even feel my presence at all. The demon of the bloody mist's voice echoed from every direction, taunting Kakashi. But I know what you are doing very well, Kakashi, you have fallen into my trap completely. It was then that several dogs burst from the ground attacking Zabuza. Sakura and Tazuna could hear the growling from where they were. What is that sound? Asked a freaked out bridge builder. What's going on? Sakura asked herself. Both were feeling very uneasy considering they had practically been left in the dark and unable to tell what was going on in either battle being fought around them. If I can't follow you with my eyes or ears, I'll just have to use my nose, said Kakashi calmly, as if lecturing a small child. That's what happens when you close your eyes in the mist. This is a summoning technique for pursuing purposes. I stopped your attacks 2 times and bled both of those times for this purpose. Your weapons have my scent on them. Those are my cute ninja dogs, and their noses work better than any other dogs. You're the one who has fallen into the trap. The mist has cleared. Your future is death. I don't care about your bluffs, said Zabuza defiantly. Kakashi was right, the mists were clearing, and Zabuza was just feet away from Kakashi and held in place by several of Kakashi's summons. Don't act so tough. There is nothing you can do in this situation, scolded Kakashi. Your death is certain. Zabuza, you fooled around too much. Your ambitions were too big. You failed in the assassination of the Mizukage and the coup d'etat. You ran away with a few of your subordinates and became exiled ninja. Your name was given to the village of Konoha immediately. In order to gather money for retaliation and to avoid prosecution from the pursuing ninjas you sided with vermin like Gatu. He said the last word as if it tasted bad in his mouth. Zabuza, do you really think I have survived all this time with just the Sharingan? I'll show you my original technique. It is not a copy. Kakashi did 3 hand seals and then gripped his right wrist with his left hand. Chakra began to gather around his feet when bolts of electricity surged from the ground into his right hand. Rikiri, lightning edge, he shouted. I can see the chakra in his hands, said Zabuza, astonished at the power and level of control that Haddock Kakashi, the copycat nin, possessed. You're too dangerous. The person you are trying to kill, Tazuna-san, is this country's courage. The bridge he is trying to create is this country's hope. Your ambition sacrifices too many people. That's not what a ninja is supposed to do. Kakashi could see the smirk appear on Zabuza's face through the mask. Who cares? I have fought for my ideal. And that won't change in the future either. I'll say this again, give up. Ordered Kakashi, the lightning surging in his right palm. His normally lazy, calm, and expressionless face was now fiercely glaring at his foe. Your future is death. Please kill me, Haku pleaded. Worry and indecision had frozen Naruto in place. Why are you hesitating? With each passing moment Naruto felt his resolve crumble. I can't believe that stupid story, he shouted defiantly as he took several steps away from Haku, weapon. Tool. You call a person like that an important person. You're okay with that? Is it wrong? The sad neutral expression never leaving Haku's face. What? What's wrong with that? But that's. Zabuza-san had hopes for me. He needed me, but I have lost the purpose that made me me. Zabuza-san will no longer need me. As Haku continued speaking, Naruto could feel his resolve crumbling, his heart breaking. That is why I am asking you now, hurry Naruto-kun, please kill me. I don't understand. Is staying strong the only reason you have for staying in this world? Naruto tried to reason with the boy. You could have made people recognize you through something other than fighting. A small smile graced Haku's face. The day I met you in the forest, I felt you were like me. You should understand. The look in Naruto's eyes gave a weight to Haku that he did. I'm sorry I have to soil your hands. Is that the only way? Yes. Naruto looked down. His eyes were clenched tight, even his newly awakened Jagan eye. If I had met you somewhere else, we might have been friends. He then opened his eyes, his resolve hardened. He charged towards Haku, his right hand going to his kunai pouch. Grab hold of your dream. Sasuke had a dream too, Naruto rationalized in his mind as he ran faster towards Haku, his kunai in his hand. Haku closed his eyes. Thank you, you will become strong, he silently thanked Naruto. The mist, it's beginning to settle, exclaimed Tazuna. There are 2 people over there. It looks like they're staring at each other, said Sakura. I can't see very well. Which one is Kakashi-sensei? She asked one of them to move. Haku caught the movement out of the corner of his eye. He then grabbed a hold of Naruto's wrist before he could strike the killing blow. I'm sorry, Naruto-kun apologized while doing a few one-handed seals. But I can't die just yet. It was then that Naruto saw what Haku did after the ice manipulator vanished. Kakashi charged at Zabuza with a fully charged Rikiri. So this is it, huh? Zabuza asked himself. Suddenly a crack in the bridge opened up, releasing large amounts of frozen air. A mirror of ice suddenly formed, and out stepped Haku right into the path of Kakashi's charged palm. Before Kakashi could reach Haku and Zabuza, Naruto materialized and knocked Haku through yet another mirror, placing himself in front of Zabuza, his Jagan blazing. Naruto-kun, yelled Haku. Naruto, thought Kakashi as he knew what was about to happen. He couldn't stop. It was too late. Gaukatan. Enachi Enku no Kabushi. A powerful shockwave hit Sakura and Tazuna. They had to cover their eyes to protect themselves from the dust and debris from the fights on the bridge. What happened? Asked Tazuna. Impossible, shouted Sakura as the figures became visible. Kakashi's Rikiri was being blocked by Naruto, whose arm was completely engulfed in black and orange flames. The sleeve of the jacket had been incinerated. Kakashi was staring right into the Jagan, while Zabuza was being held fast by half a dozen dogs. Suddenly, Naruto shoved Kakashi's attack away from himself and hit him in the chest with a powerful palm strike to the sternum. The blow knocked Kakashi back, but he was able to stay on his feet. Everyone had been so shocked by the turn of events they were speechless. And Naruto? Kakashi yelled after a few moments of speechlessness. What the hell were you thinking? I couldn't let you maybe, but not Haku. He, like the others, was in complete shock. Naruto, Sakura whispered. Incredible, Tazuna said in bewilderment. Suddenly Sakura's eyes widened in realization. Naruto. You're alright. Where's Sasuke-kun? Naruto kept silent, but then he looked away from her. He couldn't face her. Sakura's eyes then widened again, tears threatening to spill forth. There was a lost look in her eyes. Sasuke. I'll go too, Tazuna whispered to the distraught Kunoichi. That way you don't have to break your teacher's orders. Okay, she answered, as they both ran towards where Sasuke and Naruto had been fighting Haku originally. Sakura, Kakashi thought. Zabuza used the distraction to free himself from the dogs. You don't have time to look away, Kakashi, exclaimed Zabuza, drawing his sword and swinging it at Naruto. Naruto was caught off guard and had no time to dodge when suddenly he found himself tackled to the ground. Zabuza's sword sliced through nothing but air. Haku, exclaimed a very surprised Zabuza. Meanwhile, Tazuna and Sakura had reached Sasuke's body. Seeing him lying there lifelessly, Sakura gasped. Tazuna didn't know the kid very well, but he liked him enough. He also knew how much the girl adored the dark-haired boy. The look in her eyes was the same as his daughter's after Kaiza had been killed by Gato and his men. She collapsed to her knees and felt his face. Her worst fears had just been confirmed. He's cold. This isn't an illusion, huh? She asked quietly. You don't have to hold back because I'm here, he assured her. You should just cry at a time like this. I always got 100s on all of the tests at the academy. Huh? Tazuna raised an eyebrow in genuine confusion. But Sakura just continued on. I memorized more than 100 ideas of the shinobi code, and I always wrote the answers down proudly. One day there was this problem on a test: answer the 25th clause of the shinobi code. And I wrote down that answer, as usual. Try as she might to hold them back, the tears came anyway. A ninja must not show any emotion in any situation. A ninja must put the mission first and not have a heart that will allow him to cry. She began to cry into Sasuke's chest. This is what a ninja, Tazuna whispered to himself. It's too cruel. Sasuke-kun, Sakura sobbed before letting out a loud wail. One that tore a gaping hole into Naruto's heart nearby as he closed all three eyes from severe exhaustion. He was vaguely aware of being caught by Haku before he hit the ground. It was near dawn when he opened his eyes again. He let out a small groan and slowly sat up. I've never felt this weak before, he said aloud to himself as he placed a hand on his head. It's probably a side effect of awakening you, said Kakashi, who was leaning against a wall. What happened? He asked. Is everyone alright? Naruto was hopeful. He already knew the answer, but he needed confirmation. Perhaps, if he just wished hard enough, it had just been a nightmare. Wait, what do you mean, one of those blood things like Haku has? One thing at a time, answered Kakashi. Everyone is alright, even Sasuke. Sasuke is alive. Naruto exclaimed excitedly. Kakashi nodded, and Naruto gave him a fox-like grin. Zabuza was killed, though by Gato's thugs, when he showed up after Zabuza killed Gato, Kakashi informed him. But why? Naruto asked. Apparently Gato had made a habit of hiring missing nins. Then when it comes time to pay them, he kills them if they hadn't already died on the mission he hired them for. Kakashi told him. What about Haku? Asked Naruto. He took Zabuza's death pretty hard, but he is alright for the most part. He hasn't left your room since you were brought here. He'll be coming back with us to Konoha when we leave. He looked over to Haku when he spoke. The boy in question was fast asleep in his chair. Naruto sighed in relief. That's good, I suppose. Now what about my blood thingy? Kakashi couldn't help but smirk. While Naruto did have a serious side that was seen by almost no one, he was still the same knucklehead with a one-track mind at the end of the day. It's pretty rare. In fact, at the time of the Kyuubi attack there was only one known person who had it, and I have reason to believe he was your father. What? But that means Naruto's eyes got wide with excitement until Kakashi said, my family died in the attack. I still have to check with the Sandaime to be sure, but if I am not mistaken, I am the perfect person to teach both you and Sasuke in Konoha at the moment, said Kakashi. Why is that? Asked Naruto. In Sasuke's case it's because we both have Sharingan, and in yours the man I believe is your father was also my sensei, Kakashi said. Naruto's eyes widened again. The excitement that he might find out a little bit about his family was too great. Your sensei? Who was it? Kazama Arashi, the Yondaime Hokage, said to Kakashi reluctantly. Yandere, that means he. Naruto couldn't let himself finish the sentence. Kakashi merely nodded in response. Why me? Kakashi sighed. He really couldn't blame the kid. To find out only a few weeks ago you had a demon inside of you, and then that it was your own father who had sealed it, there would be too much for anyone. He had to help the boy understand. Think about it, Naruto. What does it mean to be Hokage? In his place, would you be able to ask some other family to sacrifice their child if you saw a chance where your own child could be seen as a hero? Naruto interrupted. I know that didn't happen, but that is what sensei had intended. Naruto was silent for a few moments. I think I understand. Now do you want to learn about your bloodline limit? Asked Kakashi. Naruto said nothing, but nodded. As I said before, it's rare. In fact, you are the second person known to have had it. Yandere, like you, was an orphan. He had no other family. He was found in the wilderness by a group of our ninja and brought back to the village. It wasn't long after, and he attended and graduated from the academy. Soon afterwards he became a genin and awakened his bloodline limit. He was able to develop it with the help of his sensei. It's called the Jagen. What does it do? Asked Naruto. Well, when it's activated, a third eye appears on your forehead. Kakashi had to stifle a small chuckle as Naruto felt his forehead. Not even Yandere was completely certain of its full potential. But what we did know about it, or rather, what he told me about it, it helped with his chakra control and could sometimes give him boosts of power like what happened to you on the bridge. It can even slow down an enemy's movements based on your own reaction time. It can also give you access to a few techniques that can only be used by you because of the eye. That means not even the Sharingan can copy those techniques. Wow, was all Naruto could say. I'll leave you alone for now, but we'll have to talk to the Sandaime-sama about whether or not Yandere was actually your father. Either way, I have something for you that will complement the changes in your fighting style with the eye. I'm sure Yandere would have wanted you to have it under the circumstances, whether you're his son or not. Kakashi informed him as he was leaving the room. Thanks, Kakashi-sensei, Naruto said with a small smile on his face. One more thing, Naruto. Kakashi paused at the door. The Jagen seems to have a mind of its own. While in a sense you can control it, and it is a part of you, it is also sentient and separate from you. It's very prideful and demands respect. All of Yandere's opponents who insulted the eye all died. He then left Naruto to his thoughts. The boy had a lot to think about. Thanks for watching my video. Leave a like if you enjoyed my video, and also do consider subscribing to my channel for more awesome content. If you want the next part of this story, let me know in the comment box. See you next time. Till then, sayonara.